I'm so pleased to be here with the Treasurer, with the Minister for Transport and of course the Member for Drummoyne to announce this very exciting announcement. Over the next 4 years we'll be spending an extra $800 million on our Transport Access program. That will tip us over the $2 billion mark. When it comes to providing accessibility for our railway stations, our wharves, our bus stops, our interchanges, we want to make sure we make transport use that much easier. I'm also pleased to say that this means an extra 11 stations will now start planning for their upgrades, including this one here at North Strathfield. When you look at the number of stairs, it really makes it difficult for people with prams, people with mobility issues. We want to make sure we make as much of our network accessible as possible. The other great news is that at the moment, because of the hard work we've put in over the last few years, more than 90% of customers on average are able to use a station which is accessible. So we've made sure we've addressed those stations with the highest volume of passengers, also taking into consideration those demographic issues. It's important for us to make sure we get through the list as quickly as possible. We've accelerated the program and we've extended the program to include things like bike racks and other improvements we know our customers use when they're getting to and from major transit hubs. And of course, these upgrades don't include the 31 brand new metro stations we're building, which of course are fully modern, fully accessible. I'm extremely proud of our record and I'm grateful that the people of New South Wales are talking with their feet by using public transport in greater numbers than ever before.
Well, there's no greater barrier to our community for people with disabilities and underprivileged trans, of course, seniors, without having access. And this government has turbocharged the Transport Access Program very deliberately, where the government that completed fully accessible stations right around the city circle. We're now able to extend that, 173 stations with access. If you look at Labor's record, they were delivering about 2 projects a year. We've now delivered 450 projects in the last 7 years. And of that, 51 are providing lifts at stations so people can get around. Yes, more to do, but as the Premier just said, 90% of people now have coverage in terms of access at stations. We're going to continue to break down the barrier, and I'm grateful to the Treasurer who's able to now ensure that $2 billion is being invested, or has been invested, in providing access to people with disabilities, mums and dads with prams, and of course our senior community, so that people get around our great state.
Well, another budget, another significant investment in our Transport Access Program, an additional $133 million in the next financial year, take our investments as coming to government to $2 billion in this important program. A program which provides access to public transport, particularly for our seniors, for people with a disability, and for mums and dads with prams. We've already seen that today. It can be challenging getting up and down these stairs at these train stations. We want to make it easier, but importantly, we can't make this $2 billion investment since 2011 just like that. We've had strong financial management. That's why Labor only delivered 2 of these projects every year. We are delivering hundreds across the state of New South Wales at a range of train stations and access points. So I'm very pleased to be here with the Premier, the Transport Minister, to make this announcement, a record investment in transport access across our state.
Thank you, Treasurer, Premier, Minister for Transport. This is great news for the electorate of Drummoyne and beyond. I'm very happy to say that I've been lobbying for this for a long time, over a number of years. Many people have petitioned the upgrade of this station. It's great news, and now basically completes the missing link, roads, Concord West and adjoining North Strathfield. All my stations are fully accessible. This is a great day for my electorate and beyond.
Questions?
You use words like turbocharge. We know that some of these station upgrades are announcing last year, so I think it's still in planning 12 months on. So is there any one frame that you're adding to this upgrade? Do they need to be done within a certain amount of time?
Do you want me to answer that? First of all, some of these stations do take a bit of work. They're older stations. There's heritage values, there's planning requirements, there's possession planning that needs to happen. And as you'll see, you can't just turn up and start building. We've got to do the right planning. And the runs are on the board. I mean, if you look at the government, 51 stations now provided access since we've come to office, taking it to 173 of 307 stations. So we've got the runs on the board in terms of delivering. We've got more to do, which is what this budget is about. And In many ways, it's not about the numbers, it's about the people who want to get on our public transport. And that's why this program is very exciting, and the program ahead over the next 4 years enables us to even get more work done. And as you can see where the planning is going to really take place, it's designed in a way to make sure we get the build right. And the other point that I would make is Labor are actually opposing 5 stations getting access on the southwest line of Bankstown. I mean, that's just craziness on their part. So we want to continue to invest. 51 delivered, another 17 underway.
As a minister, though, for this program, taking this station into account, how long would you like it to take for a lift?
Well, I want it to be done safely, and I want it done with minimal disruption to the network, which is why the possession planning is also very important. So, we've seen stations built within a 12 to 18 month period in terms of new concourses, new lift access. But we've got to make sure the planning is right and make sure we get the best outcome.
Is it running a bit slower than planned, though, given that in 2013 Transport actually identified, I think, 100 stations that saw as priority for accessibility?
Yeah, well, 51 delivered. Compared to the last government, was only delivering 2 a year. I mean, that just goes to show the difference between the Liberals and Nationals and the sluggish Labor Party who didn't deliver anything. I mean, the point is hang on, Tamara, just let me answer the question, please. So the point that I'd make is we want to continue to focus in the way that we have. We're guided by Transport in terms of the rollout, and we get the best outcomes for communities, and we've got to focus on where the needs are most.
So how long can we expect?
Sorry?
How long will it take to expect?
If we can continue to be elected, we can continue the rate that we're continuing at. Labor, as I said, are stopping access at 5 stations on the Bankstown. They're opposed to that. So they're going backwards, we're going forwards.
So you're comparing to Labor's record, but comparing to you said 50% of the 100 that you had earmarked, so really only half are done. So with the ones that are being announced today, can you expect half of those to be done?
No, the announcement's the announcement. We've delivered 450 projects from commuter car parks to station upgrades to very wards, to bicycle parking, it's fantastic, great project. And to have $2 billion invested. At no point in the state's history have we seen this degree of investment into transport access. At no point. The Premier, when she was Transport Minister, started this program, and it's just been phenomenal. The city circle wasn't even done when we came to government. We've now completed that. And we're also investing in those stations right across the board, and you'll see from the list, not just metropolitan Sydney, but regional New South Wales as well. So it's a great outcome.
Run us through some of the other stations we're here at Strathfield today that will be getting upgrades, and what sort of upgrades that we're getting?
Yeah, sure. Places like Bendigo, places like YE, places like Glenbrook, where the local members very exercised in representing the views of the local community to see an upgrade there. And some of those oldest historic stations on the North Shoreline, Warringah, Roseville, and these are the types of places where we want to invest so that people can get on a public transport.
I know that there was the West Metro, they were thinking about putting an interchange here on Concord. Does this have any impact on that?
No, what we're going to continue to have in place is obviously the line here will continue to operate once Metro West is built. So we need the access, and that's why getting on with the job of providing access today enables us to get that major barrier to access for people with disabilities, mums and dads with prams, seniors onto the station. So absolutely not. And one of the key points is we're yet to determine obviously the interchange point between heavy rail and Metro West, but we need to get on with the job.
Can I clarify with Kingswood? I sometimes remember that was committed to last budget.
Yeah.
Is this a re-announcement?
No, you'll see that there's 4 stations there where we're going to now get on and build. So the planning work was announced last year. That work has been undertaken, and now we get on with the job.
Continue in that plan at Kingswood though, or it's just building is starting on the planning process that was underway?
No, building will now start. And whilst we're out in that part of the world, go and have a look at Penrith Station. It's phenomenal. And that's the type of build that we've been undertaking across the board. And as John Savati said, this is what communities are screaming out for, and this is what good government's about. These are relatively, an overall program. It's a mega program, but you look at individual stations, the outcomes are phenomenal. 7 Hills electric. Every station now has access. Places like East Hills, overly. We've been delivering. Penrith delivering. So, we've taken Labor at 2 a year to a government that's now delivered 51 station upgrades inside 7 years, and we're going to keep going.
Premier, on the road corridor, the submissions closed on Friday. What's the feedback been like from the community?
I think the feedback's been pretty apparent, Chris. A lot of people have told us that they're not happy with the way in which those corridors have been designated, and we're certainly taking that feedback on board, and I look forward to making an announcement, or the relevant ministers will in the short term, about the final outcome.
Have you felt there's been a fair bit of community pressure? You've got two ministers standing next to you that have been quite outspoken about it.
I think that the importance of all of our processes, when we say consultation, we mean it. It's not just lip service. And I know that when the Minister for Transport, for example, undertakes consultation on major projects, we take input from the community. We sometimes add in extra stations or readjust our alignments. I mean, that's just part of good government. And I want to thank the community for their patience during that process. I want to thank them for their input, and I appreciate many of them are feeling stress about that situation, and good governments will take that feedback on board, and we look forward to making our position clear in the near future.
So you're confident in a good outcome for them?
I'm always confident with that.
Just one for the Minister. What do you plan to do with open fares next month? Are they going to rise? I think it's July 1 is the date for your decision.
Well, we've got a few more sleeps yet before I make an announcement on that, Matt. But one thing I will observe, as I've said previously, today's about transport access. We will make an announcement about fares, but rest assured, we're a government that's put downward pressure on the cost of living, and in particular in relation to transport fares. We've had years where there's been freezes. We've had years where there's been an increase in line with inflation. Keeping it real for the people who matter most, and that's our customers. I'd point to our opponents, the Labor Party. Fares in their time in office went up over 80%. So we're going to continue our focus on putting down pressure on fares. We'll have an announcement of that before July 1.
So in an election year, should we expect a freeze on fares, do you think?
I'll answer the question.
Treasurer, can I ask you, is it, with the budget only a couple of weeks away, it's been interesting that you haven't seen any policy at all from your opposition?
Well, look, we haven't seen the policy from the opposition for many years now, so I'm not surprised at all. We're not really focused on the opposition. We're focused on getting our job done and delivering for the people of New South Wales. Today's announcement, greater investment in transport access for the stations across the state of New South Wales. We'll keep doing our job. We'll keep our finances in order. That's why we're able to make these record investments across the board, and that's what you'll see continue to be rolled out over the next couple of weeks, and Luke Foley can keep being Luke Foley. We'll just keep delivering.
Premier, on that, outside of putting out a couple of spot fires, really, Luke Foley hasn't given us any indication of what the voters would get if they bought New South Wales Labor. Do you think that's kind of where we're at the moment?
I'm absolutely focused on doing my job as the Premier. I've got a very important job. I love my job, and I'm supported by a strong team, as you see behind me, and our job is improving services and infrastructure for the people of this great state. That's my complete focus, and it tends to be my focus every day that I'm in this job.
Premier, one of your MPs has come out on social media slamming Barnaby Joyce after the interview on the 7 Sunday night, saying that he's thrown his partner, wife and children under the bus and using the hashtag
goes to Epping via Eastwood. First stop Concord West, and then all stations to Epping.
Look, that's his personal opinion. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, now guys, there's going to be a train come through here shortly, so can we just get everyone?